Am I wrong for shaving my head before my cousin's wedding? My cousin Delaney, 24 female, is getting married soon, and I, 13 female, was asked to be the flower girl in her wedding. Oh, that's a big flower girl. I know I'm a bit old for it. Oh, I'm just sorry. There's no age limit on flower girls. I know I'm a bit old for it, but I'm the youngest girl on that side of the family. Around a month ago, after being asked to be the flower girl, I was diagnosed with anaplastic endymoma, grade 3. I started chemotherapy and my hair started falling out pretty quickly. I called Delaney and asked her what the hell I was supposed to do about my hair, and she told me that it'd be fine and to just leave it alone as long as I could. We all knew my hair was probably not going to last till the wedding day, and my brother ordered me a wig online. The wig looked a lot like my actual hair. My hair continued coming out in clumps and was getting extremely tangled and was just really uncomfortable. No one ever told me that losing my hair would be physically painful. Eventually, a couple of days before the bridal shower and rehearsal dinner, they happened to be on the same day, nearly half of my hair had come out, and I was so sick of the hot mess that my hair had become that I just cut off all my hair. The day of the rehearsal dinner, I wore my wig so that Braylon, the family friend that Delaney had asked to be her hairstylist, could figure out how to style it. Delaney walked in as Braylon was showing me how to use wig glue and absolutely lost it. She asked me why I didn't have hair, and I told her, I have cancer, I lost my hair. But she kept berating me, and eventually I admitted that I had shaved my head because of how awful my hair looked. She called me a selfish brat and said that I didn't have her permission to this sentence is gonna piss you guys off. She called me a selfish brat and said that I didn't have her permission to do anything drastic with my hair before her wedding. Oh my god, this girl is crazy. I'm so sorry you have to go through that. I don't know why people dictate how people should do their makeup and hair and stuff like that when it comes to weddings. I don't care, as long as you're in the color scheme. I don't care what you guys do with your hair, with your makeup, as long as oh my god, bridezilla to the max. I'm so sorry. Am I wrong for not inviting my sister to my wedding? I, 27 female, have been married to my husband Jay for over 10 years. We got married 6 years ago, but only did it through the court, and we never had a wedding. We always said later, but timing was not on our side. Well, it finally is. We decided to have our wedding ceremony and reception later this year and invite our close friends and family. We were doing our guest list and decided that my older sister would not be invited. She has been a toxic person in my life since I can remember. When I started dating Jay, she used to tell him that he could do so much better than me. I've never been someone that wears a lot of makeup, and Jay has always known this. She used to tell me that he was going to leave me because I didn't take care of myself. I suffer from an eating disorder and have been impatient. She told Jay that I was crazy and shouldn't be dealing with me and should just leave me. When I was at said impatient, she tried to use me to get an excuse for her job so she wouldn't have to do something she didn't want to, all under the pretense of helping with our girls. This was my second day there. When I told her I couldn't, she called me selfish and why couldn't I do this for her, and didn't reach out for the 2 months I was in there, and just so much more. As the years have gone by, Jay has stood up for me time and time again and doesn't let her run over me. This is something I've had trouble with. She hates this. She mentioned one time that he shouldn't get involved in sister matters. We had a traumatic childhood, so I felt like we just had to be close. I think it's part of why I've had such a hard time cutting her off. Anyways, last Thanksgiving we got into a fight. Jay and I tried to have a civilized conversation and put all differences aside and move forward. It did not go well, and she played victim at all times. Jay and I knew we tried. She brushed it under the rug, and a few days later was back to normal. After that, a month later, Jay and I had to leave for 2 months for a training, and I stayed alone with my 2 girls. She made all these promises of coming to visit us and keep us company, and so did her husband. They ended up coming to our state and then kept making up excuses as to why they couldn't come. She didn't talk to me until she was back to the state she lives in. I was annoyed because they also promised my 6-year-old and then just left her hanging. After they went back, she texted twice, and I briefly answered once since I was annoyed and honestly didn't want to get into a fight. A week and a half after the text, the girls and I got into a car accident. Car was totaled and it wasn't pretty. Thankfully, the girls had minor injuries. She never reached out, never cared. My mom and younger sister came to help and called her in FaceTime, and she gave me an attitude. It was like something clicked and I was just done. She's a negative and toxic person for me, blood related or not. Obviously, I told my family she will not be invited, and they know everything, but they still want me to be the bigger person because she's your sister no matter what, and just be the bigger person again. I've stood my ground, but am I the asshole? Update: we had the wedding this weekend and it was everything we could have wished for and more. We were so happy to finally have this date and share it with our loved ones. These past few months I've been in therapy to deal with just different things, and obviously the topic of my family has come up. My sister and I actually had a talk about a month and a half ago, just her and I. She apologized for a lot of things which she has never done before, so I appreciated that. We also realized that this was the first time we actually sat down to talk, just her and I. No one else involved. My mom would usually want to be there and then meddle, then send messages back and forth, but it was never what me and my sister said. We realized my mom had a lot to do with our relationship and how it went. She knew some of her actions were toxic, and that's when she apologized about it, and we had a genuine talk about it. Afterwards, we talked at least weekly, and you could feel the difference now that we had talked about everything. She ended up coming to the wedding, and there was no drama at all. We really had the best time, and everyone got along perfectly. Aww! Thank you for all the support. Oh, that's so sweet. Best update ever. Am I wrong for refusing to help / support my dad's pregnant stepdaughter? I am a 21 female college student. My dad's stepdaughter is 18, turning 19 soon, and expecting a baby. She has no idea who the father is, and she's been left behind by her friends who are all in college after graduating last year. She never went and stayed living with my dad and her mom. Now she's pregnant, doesn't have a job, and isn't in school, but she's planning to go now. Which, I don't know. I don't believe that, but I know my dad wants to. I transferred and I now live about an hour away from my dad. Because I'm so much closer now, he wants me to help out with his stepdaughter, give her a place to stay some nights so she can get away from their house, maybe be a sister for her, offer to be an aunt to the baby. She and I have never gotten along, and I personally think she's a spoiled brat and I do not consider her family, even though by marriage she is. But we never treated each other like sisters and have never counted each other as such. She regrets that now. She told me as much. She realizes I have people in my life who would be there for me in a heartbeat, which she doesn't have outside her mom and my dad. I told my dad I wasn't interested, that I'm happy with my life the way it is, and I don't trust her to follow through, nor do I care enough about her to reach out. It's the honest truth. I don't care if she does try or not. She's not important to me. It upset him because he wants more for her. He wants me to want this so badly, but she wasn't part of my life for as long as she was his. I was 15 when I moved in with him after my mom died, and before that I saw him a few weeks of the year. My dad was upset but not angry. His wife, however, thinks I'm a bad egg, to quote her. She said family helps each other. Wouldn't I want to help her? The answer to that is no, because I've seen what her help leads to. Do I not long for a sister that I never otherwise had? All this stuff. Then she talks about how the baby is special and important and I should cherish her. She told me only bad eggs refuse to help. What are you, a chicken? I might be wrong now, but I consider that her way of calling me an asshole, and I only entertain that idea because my dad is her. So, am I the asshole?